I just checked it in YouTube, YouTube Wikipedia, that Impact started on the 4th of June 2004. So it's 10 years tomorrow that Impact's been going for.
9.
9, fuck, sorry, aye.
Fucking Monty, counting with your socks off again, were you?
I got a bit ahead of myself.
It's the only head you'll ever get. Wah, wah, wah.
Welcome to the Random Wrestling Review.
Welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Random Wrestling Review. I am your host, as always, a wonderful David Marshall, and we've got a very packed TNA heavy show this week. So nobody can accuse us of being negative towards TNA, although probably this whole episode is just going to be about shitting on TNA, probably, from my part anyway. But before that begins, let me start by introducing my team. Back as always, he is, insert clever European pun here, it's Dutch.
Hello.
And joining us once again, it's the beast from the east of Northern Ireland, Johnny.
Yes.
Awesome. And our newest member in the pod, in person anyway, he is replacing Gav and has been mentioned by the little loathsome bastard about 500 times. It's Gav's friend, it's Kinbo.
Oh.
Friend.
What a friend.
Know the guy.
No. Well, he knows you and where you stay and the fact you've only got single glazed windows, so just be wary.
Cool.
So what was I going to say? Yeah, this week we're going to be talking about, well, we're recording this a few hours before Raw starts, so we won't be talking about Raw this week.
Shite.
Aye. Everyone knows it's going to fucking happen to Raw anyway. Oh, wasn't Cena good? Wasn't Joe Henry made to look like shite again?
Gav will have enjoyed it though.
Gav will give it 9 out of 10, aye. If Gav was, that's the thing, we're going to really miss Gav this week, because if he was here we could talk about main event, like the premier wrestling show.
Is it actually on TV, that, in the UK?
I don't think so. I think you need to get it on WWE.com or fucking the app.
He's probably got the app.
I've got the app.
So they are.
I don't have the app.
Do you know, I watched Raw last week with the app just to see what it was like, and I think I got like Randy Orton watching the telly and a Vicky Guerrero interview. It was well fucking worth it.
The Miz can be the announcer, the ref, or the fucking the commentator. Let me think.
I can't say I voted in that. I was looking for the Miz can go fuck himself option, but wasn't there.
They'll forget about it in a few weeks' time, then they'll go back to tout.
I remember Tout.
Shit.
With Twitter.
The only thing that ever came of Tout was Chris Jericho filming the Raw set on fire.
Aye.
So let's begin this week, and we'll start, as always, with Review of the Week.
It's time for Review of the Week on Random Wrestling Review.
And welcome back, folks, and we're going to start, as always, with Review of the Week. It's not really Review of the Week now, since the last show we done was like 4 days or something, so it's Review the last 4 days for us. Well, TNA had a pay-per-view this weekend. They had their 11th Slammiversary celebrating their 11th anniversary. I never watched it, well, I've not had the chance to watch it yet. I like Dutch read the spoilers. Was there anything monumentous coming out of this week's pay-per-view?
No, just expected. Chris Sabin won the X Division title, which he can training for the shot at the world title at Destination X, which isn't scheduled for this year. So, good thinking by Hogan.
Hashtag logic.
Correct. And
Real
what else?
Botchamania moment there. The only thing that stands out for me is, even again, just by reading the spoilers, is that the last knockout standing match seems to have been better than the last man standing match between Cena and Ryback.
Well, from what I've read, it seems like it was actually quite a good show. We
I
met,
also read that Saban got busted open when he jumped down. The belt hit the ring and hit him up beside the head. So that's smart.
I take it Billy Ray bet Sting.
Yeah.
So Sting
Sting
can.
doesn't have any friends to help him out.
So does that mean
Yeah.
that?
It pretty
So-
much just went to the finish with Billy Ray, and there was nothing really else happening. I sort of expected a bit more. I mean, Abyss came back earlier on the show and won the TV title it's called now. And,
Yeah.
then the AJ Styles and Angle match seems to have been the match of the night. And one thing I did notice from Impact is that AJ Styles' his wrestling's a bit different. He's not really going as much high flying as he used to. He seems to be a bit more aggressive and punches and actually trying to fight rather than flop about like a vanilla midget.
I suppose he is getting older now, and we probably won't be able to do half the stuff he used to.
Is it me or is he fatter? Is he actually? Well, not fatter. Is he bigger? Is he?
Yeah, I thought that when I seen him. He seems like he'd put a bit more mass, whether it be fat or muscle, but he does look bigger.
Well, he's not that much older than what he was, but hey.
What age is? AJ Styles about 35 or something.
Roughly about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Dutch?
No, that's Wikipedia. He must be in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
So far, we have checked spoilers on Wikipedia for information. This is a top podcast, really.
Well, that is about a fucking standard, really. Come on.
People who listen to this are really getting an entertainment value, aren't you?
Yeah. Did anyone? Sorry.
Only we had our TNA fanboy Gav.
Yeah. Well, I did ask him this afternoon, have you watched the pay-per-view yet for this week's show? He's like, oh no. Like, it's a TNA show. We picked it specifically for you, and you've not even fucking watched it.
Pacifically, or is
Yeah.
that near the Pacific Ocean? Yeah.
I said specifically.
I thought you said Pacifically.
No, I'm not a retard.
Yes, you are.
Fuck you. Well, I broke a bit of a tradition this week and I actually watched SmackDown and fucking blow me over, but I actually kind of enjoyed Del Rio against Big E Langston.
The reason Big E and Del Rio wrestled each other multiple times in 1 week is because Swagger wasn't allowed into Canada.
The drug charge.
That's why R-Truth wasn't on either.
When was he? When has he ever been on though?
That's a good point.
Remember the last time I even saw him, apart from the TNA show we watched this week?
Yeah, K Crush. I was actually a bit surprised. I actually enjoyed Del Rio and Big E Langston. I mean, I pretty much hammered Langston last week on the pod, but I think I might have been a bit harsh on him.
Did he not lose the title in NXT as well?
Yeah, but that's recorded like months in advance, I think.
4 weeks, 5 weeks, yeah.
Because he was appearing on NXT as a face champion when he was with Del Rio. With Ziggler as his heel bodyguard.
Right, cool. What's the NXT kind of show like? That seems
Pretty good.
the reviews seem to be a bit better because it's just totally different, isn't it? There's no actual guys who are on main TV.
No, we've got Tyson Kidd in that, but when's Tyson Kidd ever on main TV? Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, it's just like an old school style of show, an hour long wrestling show. It's good.
Yeah, and every now and again you get somebody from the main roster comes up and does a match.
Yeah, they had that show where they had like the US title and the tag titles and the WWE title getting defended on it. Christ, we're really struggling this week to talk about anything that's happened.
Gab's not here with nobody to slag off, really.
Yeah.
Better slag off whenever you can retort to you and just go, yeah, well, and give you a wee sort of something to go on.
And does his loud breathing? It's a real cunt to edit out.
Somebody get his phone number and give him a ring.
No, it's not that fucking desperate. We're going to phone up Gav to be our podcast friend.
No, definitely not.
Jericho had a match in SmackDown that I really enjoyed, but I can't for the fucking life of me remember who it was against. So hi, there we go.
Who was it against?
Can't remember. I enjoyed it, but I can't remember who it was.
What?
The Big Show.
No, it wasn't Big Show. Somebody good. Or somebody that looked good.
Before. Such professionals, huh?
Alright.
Hey,
It was against. Hang on, I'm going to find out.
There's only so many guys it could be.
Cody Rhodes.
It was Cody Rhodes. Aye, that's who it was. By the way, how fucking ridiculous does he look with that moustache?
Moustaches are awesome, man. The one in November.
Yeah, but it's not a proper looking moustache, really. It's just a bit of bum fluff above your lip. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't do the Movember thing because I know I look ridiculous. But
Yeah, same.
the thing about Cody Rhodes, sort of, when I was thinking, about the Curtis Axel guy getting his, playing off his family. When you sort of think about Cody Rhodes, you don't really think Dusty's son. You just think some guy he's actually tried to make his own kind of way with it, which is kind of fair enough.
Mm. Well, they did kind of play off the fact that it was Dusty's son when he first came in. Remember the whole legacy thing?
Well, when he first came in, but that's kind of gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's when he was at his highest fucking fame, when he was in Legacy with Andy Orton.
Probably.
He's a wrestling figure.
Sorry?
Cody Rhodes. Just look at that picture. See his action figure.
Well, you need to put that on the
On the YouTube video. I remember the biggest pop that Cody Rhodes has got would be probably when he started to wear knee pads for the first time.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that was a big one. Like, people on the internet were going mad because Cody Rhodes came out for a match on pay-per-view wearing knee pads. I was like, alright, cool. To be fair, he does have legs like rolled up fag paper, so imagine he'd do something to try and bulk them up.
I see Curtis Axel had a match against Sin Cara. I can just imagine that being horrible.
Do you know, have you ever watched some of like Sin Cara's stuff when he was in Mexico?
I've seen clips of that, but
it's like a totally different guy.
Probably is.
Yeah, he has the adapts.
Yeah, true. To the WWE style.
People would suggest a lot of it's to do with the fact that he can't actually speak English.
I
It's
suppose.
not even that, but they'll sign a wrestler and on his talent in like Mexico or Japan or whatever, and then make him change everything that he got signed for.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember when he's
I'm in defense, like, what's the use?
Yeah. I'm like, what is his actual finisher?
Sin Cara?
Yeah.
I don't know, the flippity floppity flu or something, I don't know.
Because when he first came in, I remember him doing like this move from the top rope against Daniel Bryan. So it was like, I don't know, like an STO.
Yeah, like
on
a
the top
C4.
rope. Yeah. Well, I think the only person who could have actually done that with was Daniel Bryan, so that was the last we were going to see in that. Then he done this spinning arm breaker thing, but Del Rio's got the the armbar, so we can't have him doing that. So we had this guy with all this hype, and now, like, 2 years down the line, he's not even got a proper finishing move. And it's hardly on TV.
Yeah, and he was signed by Triple H.
Yeah.
So he won't be happy. I think Triple H signed 2 wrestlers, Karma and Sin Cara. Both been flops so far. Well, one's been a flop and others released.
Yeah. Damn pregnant.
Supposedly, well,
Anywhere else? She's not been on TNA or anything, has she?
No.
Oh, she had a miscarriage and lied to the people.
Yeah.
That she was still pregnant. And then I think she came back for the Royal Rumble, and that's it.
Yeah. So she only ever had like half a dozen WWE TV appearances. Shame, because she actually looked like she was going to be quite good. Well,
she had some really good matches with Gail Kim about 2007, if I remember.
Yeah, in TNA, aye.
They were actually, it was sort of the small person versus the big person kind of matches, but they were really, really pretty good. They were really pretty good, if I'm remembering right.
I remember her cutting a good promo in the WWE when she first came in. She was talking about when she was rejected from the WWF, but Jim Ross told her that she was too fat, and I was like, just for us interest, because you don't hear too many stories where GR comes across as a dick.
Well, he said the same to the Blue Mini. I mean, he told the Blue Mini he was too fat, and he told Karma she was too fat. I mean, then there's maybe been others. I mean, if anybody's going to tell you that they're too fat, Jim Ross. I mean, come on. I'm a big guy, but fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. Oh,
sitting injecting barbecue sauce into his pecs and.
Well, have you never been to the doctors or something? You've got a fat nurse that's told you you need to lose weight or something. You're like, all right, do I? Aye.
I never go to the doctors. I think the nurses and my doctors are actually quite fit. They sometimes sit outside in the bushes and watch them. Well, somebody had to say something funny. Come on.
Well,
we're struggling.
Or sexually abusive. And that we've still not had any females volunteering their services yet. So anything else to say, or we'll just end part 1 and move on to TNA?
You forgot Kurt Angle in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I didn't know that. Was he into the TNA Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yeah. And he thanked Jeff Jarrett, which was weird because they always say he Jarrett stole his wife.
Yeah.
And James Storm is tag team champion with Gunner now.
Gunner.
Yeah. Oh. But I was thinking about that after last week. There was one. There've been 3 teams with the belt, hot shotting the belt between each other for the last 6 months or something. And a 4th team is, I suppose, it freshens it up a wee bit, but just didn't seem likely that Gunner would be back in that kind of. But hey ho.
So who is actually in the TNA Hall of Fame now? Is it Sting and Kurt Angle just?
Yeah.
I don't see a lot for TNA, to be honest.
The Sting, Kurt Angle, next year will be Jeff Jarrett, and then they're going to have to start inducting I don't know, Cheeks, who we're going to see in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, but it just feels like we'll induct him so he doesn't sign for the WWE.
No.
Same with Sting. There was all this talk that he was signing for the WWE. And all of a sudden, let's put him in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not saying that this is undeserved, but I mean, because Sting and Kurt Angle are our 2 biggest signing coups.
Yeah, but surely you'd put the person that's been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like AJ Styles or even a James Storm.
If it was up to me, AJ Styles would have been the first person in. I mean, the guy's been there since day 1.
Yeah, well, it's not up to you, so shut up.
No.
It doesn't. I mean, a company.
Fuck you.
A company that's been about for a couple of weeks having a company that's been about for a couple of years having a Hall of Fame. It just seems a bit silly anyway. But like your man says there, it's probably just to keep Kurt Angle away from WWE, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I suppose when TNA are only 11 years old, but fuck, how fast wrestling moves. 5 years is like 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how recognisable are both TNA and WWE from 5 years ago, from June 2008?
Well, even this might be a good time to start the part 2, but I did watch it and it seems weird compared to what it is now, but you know.
Yeah, I think we'll end this segment and we'll give you a wee bit of music. This is going to do something a bit different. Going to play our wrestling entrance of the week, and since it's TNA pay-per-view number 2 and it's heavily featured by this man. We're going to go with AJ Styles' theme tune. So enjoy that, and then we'll be back in a wee minute.
And now it's time for NWA-TNA Weekly PPV 2 on the Random Wrestling Review.
And welcome back, folks. I hope you enjoyed that rising tune of AJ Styles' entrance music. And now we're going to go into this week's main feature, which is NWA-TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View number 2. This was when TNA were just starting. When they were actually a bit of a unique promotion back then. They never done weekly TV shows as such as like Impact. They were doing weekly pay-per-views. This was an idea that Jeff Jarrett and his dad had at the time to just run weekly pay-per-views, and it done well enough for them to still go in 11 years later and get their own TV show. And this is how it started. And it's fucking Jeff Jarrett. I've still not heard anyone say Jeff Jarrett.
Well, it's Jarrett.
Jarrett.
It's the American pronunciation. It sounds like Jarrett, but I mean, you live in Linwood, not fucking Los Angeles, so it's Jarrett, right?
Well, I've been going for my whole life listening to American commentators and hearing them say Jeff Jarrett.
Just the accent, you dumb.
But surely if it's American accent, it's American name, so that's the way it should be pronounced.
No.
Because I've never met any fucking British people or whatever called Jarrett or Jarrett.
Is it Stephen Colbert or Stephen Colbert?
Aye, but he does that deliberately.
I don't know. Kids these days.
It's also not called the Colbert Report.
I've only ever watched it once or twice, but fuck it.
I prefer the Daily Show myself.
I don't know.
Iron Sheik prefers the Colbert Report because John Stewart's a no good dirty Jew.
I take a shit that looked like the Virgil.
That one cracks up Dave each time.
I break his back and make him humble.
Fuck 'em old country way.
Right, so anyway, let's get into this. NWA TNA pay-per-view number 2. This was, hold on, I get my notes up here. The story of this was the second pay-per-view. The previous week, the big story was they had a 20-man gauntlet to decide the first NWA champion under TNA's jurisdiction. This was won by Ken Shamrock.
Mm-hmm. With his sideburns.
I always liked Ken Shamrock, but I never...
I think he was pretty good in his WWF run. I mean, there's some of his matches were pretty good. There was a match against the Undertaker after WrestleMania, like when the Undertaker was in the Ministry kind of thing, and it was just a really good match. There was this spot where the Undertaker went to chokeslam Shamrock, and he wrapped his legs around the Undertaker's arm in reverse. It was awesome looking, and he had potential. I think he was just a bit of a crackpot. I think he was just a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like the actual psychopath gimmick he had was quite real. But he was in TNA at the start for a couple of weeks, and he just disappeared. And he hasn't been since.
He was supposed to at one point get a world title run in the WWF, but it never came to anything. And I always thought that that'd have been a good idea, but then during this show when they were mentioned Ken Shamrock's name alongside like Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair and Harley Race, was like, probably not such a good idea.
Yeah, but you could talk all day about people not deserving the world title shots. Like the Miz has been WWE champion, so. But I
mean, I suppose this was the NWA.
Horrible on the microphone. Sorry, go ahead.
So this was the NWA title in 2002. I mean, what did it really fucking mean then?
Not much.
No.
I guess it's somebody who people recognised it was going to go to. And I mean, the idea was to give it to Jarrett because it was his company, but you know. And then Scott Hall. I think this was just after Scott Hall got fired from the NWO angle.
Yeah, a matter of months.
Yeah, so he was probably glug, you know.
Yeah.
I guess giving it to somebody who people would recognise was sort of the idea behind it.
Yeah. So this show was on the 26th of June 2002, and it came from the Von Braun Civic Centre in Huntsville, Alabama. That well-known, recognised, fucking world-renowned arena. I mean, suppose what else could I go back then?
The first few TNA events were from Alabama, weren't they?
Yeah, well, it was like 4 shows, like filmed in a one day, or whatever.
Well, the crowd seemed to be pretty big.
Well, I was just reading here in my notes I've got in, like I've took from online. It said the first and the second one were filmed simultaneously, and then there was large gaps in the audience, which like the production team tried to film around. So we get
I like the sets in the beginning. It was much better than what they had in the Impact Zone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did they not used to call it the Asylum?
Aye. Oh. No, the Asylum was Nashville.
Was the Asylum Nashville? Oh.
Yeah.
God. Do you know, I've always hated TNA crowds. They just seem like fucking retards. Like anything, like they always...
Those crowds weren't...
Sorry?
It's the Impact crowd. That got to me. Because it's the same people.
Yeah. And they'll pop.
It's not like ECW. Like ECW, you had the same people in the front row, but the ones at TNA are just like, oh, look at us, we want to be on the telly. And
yeah, that's if they were trying to be like an ECW crowd. They would pop for like the smallest thing, like see the John Cena like going through the table last week against Ryback at Extreme Rules from like 3 feet off the ground. They fucking went mental for that and chanted, "This is awesome," and they fucking chanted, "This is awesome" during every single match, and it always pissed me off. Like, oh, a fucking armbar. Oh, this is awesome. That's it.
The thing they got most excited about was the NASCAR drivers and Brian Christopher against the black guy, which is just, I guess, just typical Southern states of America. You know, the rednecks against the black people.
We'll talk a bit more of that when we get to it, but the thing it reminded me of was the episode of South Park when Stan and Token are going to like have a fight and Cartman's running about the place going, "Race war!" Then when Token doesn't want to fight, he goes, "Woo, whites win again, yay!" Anyway, the first match of the night is...
Speaking of South Park, they had a first ever international between Dutch and Belgian amputees football match, and it ended up in a riot after 3-3. Like they started hitting each other with the crutches, and then the public came in. Shouldn't laugh.
No.
But just reminded me of that cripple fight.
Yeah. Cripple fight! Oh. Anyway, we'll do a South Park review later. The first match was Jeff Jarrett against Scott Hall, and if this never drew any money in 1999, it certainly wasn't going in 2002. I've got one question for you in this. How high do you think Scott Hall was?
Seems to be at least on his feet for most of it. So
yeah,
he's probably pretty baked.
Hall comes out to the ring with.
Seeing him as a.
Oh, you got that.
Sorry, you go on.
Okay. Hall comes.
Oh, it was just weird seeing him as a. Fuck's sake.
Right, go. Fuck.
Fucking make your minds up.
No, it was just weird seeing him as a baby face, like a happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky baby face.
They kept calling him the real outlaw of professional wrestling. I don't know how Scott Hall's an outlaw of professional wrestling.
Well, I guess drunk and disorderly is a crime, isn't it?
No, I suppose. But it's almost a necessity for shitey 2-bit wrestling promotions. Anyway, Hall comes out to the ring with fabulous Jackie Fargo, who was really relevant in 2002, and Toby Keith. For some reason.
Toby Keith was a NASCAR guy, yeah?
Yeah. No. Was
No, country singer.
Yeah, country singer.
Right, okay.
Who hit a suplex on Jarrett the week before in the gauntlet. Well, this match was a fucking total mess. Finish, Hall calls for the Rager's Edge, but K-Crush or K-Quick or R-Truth interferes and breaks it up. Fargo fights him off on the outside. In the ring, Jarrett just drives Hall into the mat by the hair. He goes for a stroke, but Toby Keith comes into the ring, breaks it up. Him and Hall basically just throw Jarrett onto the mat. The referee sees all this, goes in the ring and counts to 3, and Scott Hall wins after 7 minutes. What's in this?
It was a strong opener. It was an opener with people that the crowd would have recognised. I mean,
yeah.
So it got the start. The show started. The show started. Yeah, the show started. I guess.
Mm.
What's Jackie Fargo's real name anyway?
Couldn't tell you.
Dutch. He's typing it. He won't say it.
Is it Henry Faggot? So it's Henry Faggot.
Oh.
Match 2 was one for the ages. It was Cheeks against Frank Parker.
Cheeks.
I'd never seen this guy before. Cheeks.
I've never seen him since. He was just a big, huge, fat black man with.
That was his gimmick. Basically, he was a big. So Cheek was basically like a black. What do you call him, Brodus Clay? Because he had his dancer and everything.
The brown-eyed.
But what was the dance? Yeah, the brown-eyed girl.
So it's called the brown-eyed girl.
It's just daft Russo nonsense, really.
Well, I forgot to say this at the start. Ed Ferreira was one of the announcers.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was actually quite good as an announcer, Ed Ferreira. He was better than Don West anyway.
No, I don't think so. I thought Don West was okay. He had some pretty, like Don West's reactions, maybe not necessarily this show, but some of his reactions to the X Division spots, like, you go, ah, like screaming.
I just can't stand him. Somebody needs to tell him that shouting things doesn't make you a good commentator. He just shouted fucking everything.
I thought he was alright.
I never took
If
that.
he's listening, he can give me some free home shopping network stuff if he wants.
Yeah. Is he still the TNA merchandise guy now?
Don't know.
I know he got moved to that, away from the announcers booth, but I don't know if he's still there.
Couldn't tell you.
Anyway, Cheeks beats Frank Parker after 2 minutes, and after the match, Ryan Shamrock, who is now called Alicia, gets prostitute money from JB. So there you go.
The funny thing is, she was Ken Shamrock's girlfriend at this time.
Yeah.
So he played his sister on WWF TV and then ended up being his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Strangely Freudian.
Well, it's fucking.
I had to laugh at Cheeks. Cheeks was so fat that he didn't even manage to jump for that splash. He didn't even lift his feet. He just toppled down. Fucking Black Rikishi.
Yeah, basically. No, well, Rikishi can move. Rikishi had some mobility, a lot of mobility about him. This guy, basically, he was tired by the time he reached the ring.
Alright, well, I mean, Rikishi's sort of genetically, like being a Samoan, he probably was a wee bit faster. And
Yeah. We got I forgot all about this, the TNA Cage Dancers, which was basically just taken over from Nitro. But
stop being
So for music.
that was fun.
stop being exciting after about 5 minutes.
Yeah. We then got a video package of K-Crush confronting the NASCAR drivers and Brian Christopher. And the thing I took about this was Brian Christopher said, it was something like, you take your kind against our kind and we'll meet here next week. So basically black against white.
Then K-Crush comes out on his own and Brian Christopher has 3 guys against him and the entire crowd, because it's in Alabama.
Yeah. They took your jams.
Dirk, you dare!
And yeah, Brian Christopher as well. He was just totally doing the Grandmaster sexy gimmick.
A couple of weeks later, he came out and sort of turned heel and ditched that, and then he was like, "I'm going to be Brian Lawler because I'm better than my dad ever was." And then I was like, "No, you're not."
No, you're not.
Yeah, he was rubbish.
Mm.
Without Scotty Too Hotty and the aforementioned Rikishi, this match was horrible.
Yeah, Christopher won with the hip hop drop after 5 minutes, which a leg drop from the top rope.
Again, the referee didn't even notice the interference.
Yeah, from the 2 NASCAR guys, who were.
It was Scott Armstrong, huh?
Hmm.
The Road Dogs. The referee, Scott Armstrong, the Road Dogs' older brother.
Was it?
Yeah.
Never noticed. Only referee I noticed was Slick Johnson, because I hated that guy as well.
In his shorts.
Yeah, dick.
I never ever saw what the big deal was about R-Truth anyway. He never seemed to be a particularly good wrestler, and
No.
okay, the whole sort of rapper gimmick, I suppose you need one of those at least at some point, but I just never really bought him.
Was it not him who took the title off of Shamrock?
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure it was. Because he was NWA World Champion in TNA anyway, at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was him at Shamrock. So I don't know how they got from here to him becoming World Champion, but there you go.
It was maybe a sort of, because he did the whole sort of heel turn and then became the big sort of freedom fighter for black folks, and
Yeah.
I never saw anything good about him.
No. Well, after that we got more of the Cage Dancers and hyping the lingerie battle royal, and it was just me that didn't recognise anybody in this except the bud from ECW.
Mickey James?
Was Mickey James in it?
Yep.
As who?
Daphne from ECW.
Daphne was Shannon, but yeah, Mickey James was Alexis Lurie, and she's so skinny. You wouldn't recognise her. She's so skinny.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now you say that, I recognise Daphne, but I can't remember seeing Mickey James. Fuck. Yeah, so Taylor Vaughn won it.
Taylor Vaughn, start again. Taylor Vaughn was BB in WWF around sort of 99. She was a EMT that started wrestling, and BB being big boobs, apparently, and she wasn't even really that nice, and she couldn't wrestle worth fuck all, so.
No, I thought she was the ugliest, well, the least attractive one in this.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I love Jeremy Borash at the beginning.
He totally
Just
fucked
fucking up the announcements.
Yeah.
Just gave up.
Yeah.
Fair JB.
Because even JB didn't recognize any of them, and neither could Monty's. Yeah.
Well, the big spot in this match was when Francine got eliminated. Then she broke down on the outside, and Ed Ferreira came round to console her. Copped a feel. Then Francine looks like she was going to fucking give Ferreira a head on the outside of the ring, and instead takes his belt and works fuck out with it.
Aye.
And WCW fans from 2000 onwards cheer with glee.
I bet Jim Ross was like, yeehaw.
Yeah. Where's your fucking Oklahoma now, Dick? What's he up to these days? Is he not with TNA again?
Again, couldn't tell you.
Do you know, I think this is the first time I've actually seen the guy in person properly, and I was like, he was one of the main fucking writers in WWF at one point. I don't think Vince would have took kindly his appearance.
Don't know. Don't know what Vince's taste in men is like. Well, I guess
yes, you do. Sure. Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, allegedly.
Apparently.
What happened next then?
Well,
on this?
On the Legacy fronts, I'm not saying that Jerry Lawler fucked a 14-year-old girl in Memphis Championship Wrestling, but yeah, allegedly.
As I said the first week I was on, if you're wrong, let him sue you.
Exactly.
Nobody listens anyway. It would be an honour to get sued.
Yeah.
I'd give us some fucking publicity if we got sued.
Just blame Gav.
Yeah.
He told us.
Yeah. Right, so after that we got an interview with Goldilocks. Who was this Goldilocks?
Just some random backstage woman.
No history with either of the old
so.
friends?
Don't think so, no. She was fairly attractive.
Yeah,
certainly would pass my telephone number on if she's listening.
We didn't kick her out of bed for eating toast.
Well, exactly. I don't think she was a bit of a rubbish announcer.
Yeah.
I don't know if she wasn't too bad in this show, but I can remember her getting names wrong and that kind of thing. So
yeah. Well, she was doing an interview with Apollo, but gets interrupted by David Young, father of Eric Young. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. And his valet Bobcat.
Were any of these guys recognizable anywhere else?
Not for me, anyway.
Apollo looks like somebody you'd make in Create a Wrestler mode.
Yeah.
WWE games. It's like a generic Hispanic.
Even down to his name.
Yeah, let's just stick a tattoo on him. David Young's a generic redneck.
Yeah. And so, the next match was Apollo against David Young. And for some reason, halfway through the match, Bobcat starts fucking lap dancing over JB, distracts Young, and Apollo gets the win. And then Bobcat starts dancing in the ring for some reason. I never got any of this. I don't see what the fucking point was it in any of this shit.
Back in the room, Kinbo?
Mm-hmm.
Script?
Don't know. Just cut me out.
What did you think about the Apollo and David Young match?
Oh, I like the mint ones. Don't really like the fruity ones.
I liked the fruit ones. I thought the fruit ones were good.
They're alright. The spearmint ones were nice though.
Aye, the spearmint ones were good because you used to have the wee blue dots in them. They were nice. Right, anyway, Johnny or Dutch, Apollo against Bobcat, against fucking David Young.
I didn't get it either.
No.
Yeah, just kind of filler with the sort of two guys who were kind of left over kind of thing.
Yeah. After that, we got Joel Gertner. What was that guy's name in ECW? It's been annoying me.
Joel
Gertner.
Was that his name?
Surprisingly. Although he's about half the size he was in ECW, he's seriously skinny in this, whereas ECW was huge.
Do you have a fucking stupid name in ECW now?
Just Joel Gertner. He had sort of gimmicky sort of nicknames, but he was just Joel Gertner, and he always had that sort of stupid rhyming slang poem of
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, he was a quintessential stud muffin, Joe Getter, this week, and he's a manager of the Rainbow Express.
Aye.
Wow.
Yeah, the sort of gay gimmick that. Yeah, again, trying to piss off the rednecks.
I know.
Aye, but in the back, you had the
dupes.
the dubs.
I
Did you notice Trevor Murdoch?
I thought that was him.
Was it?
The blonde guy?
Don't know. One of them bowed up with their sister / cousin / girlfriend.
Yeah. So the story of this was that the Rainbow Express were set to take on the dupes who had the redneck gimmick. So the dupes never came back, and it cut to the back, and we saw them talking with somebody saying, no, they're not going to fight those guys because they're gay, basically. So instead we see some NWA official confronting James Storm and Chris Harris to fill in for them, taking on the Rainbow Express, and from that, America's Most Wanted was formed.
But why were they leaving halfway through the show?
No, I think that was him coming to the show.
Oh.
I know why.
No, they were leaving.
Really? Well, whatever.
Even if they were coming, they were an hour fucking late.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't make much sense. So yeah, James Storm and Chris Harris took on the Rainbow Express in their jeans, basically unprepared. And the thing that was I thought was funny about this match was just Don West's reaction. He was absolutely disgusted by everything that the Rainbow Express done.
I love that at the end that Ferreira just asked West, like, you have something against gay people?
Do you hate
gays? Just went silent.
That
was brilliant.
You couldn't get away with something like that these days.
Nah, but...
That was only, 11 years ago as well? Yeah. Like they were kissing each other in the hand for their tags and stuff.
Yeah, just again trying to. These guys were in WCW, weren't they?
One of them was this tag team was, but I think one of them was a ringer for this. The other guy got injured.
Right. I was Lenny and Lodi in WCW. And
this was Lenny and Bruce. Bruce was a.
Who was Bruce? Was he anybody else?
I don't know. So yeah, James Storm and Chris Harris would get the win after Lenny banged into Bruce, and I think it was Harris that got the roll up for the free count. And America's Most Wanted would go on to become one of the biggest tag teams in TNA history.
Next to Beer Money.
Next to Beer Money, and Rainbow Express would not.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Best TNA tag team. America's Most Wanted was definitely one of the reasons why I watched early TNA when it was on the Wrestling Channel.
I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about the Johnsons.
Oh, the Johnsons, Christ.
The Johnsons, was that the two guys who came out with Simon Dean?
Aye, the wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the wrestling cocks.
Aye. Was one of them not called Dick Johnson?
No, Rod and something.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm thinking of the big fat guy who used to be on WWE, Big Dick Johnson.
You thinking of him, are you?
Yeah.
Well, so that's up to you. That's your choice.
Fucking freak.
I'm sure that guy was a writer in WWE.
Yeah.
Who played Big Dick Johnson? I can't remember who it was. Anyway, after that match, we got Ricky Steamboat wearing a referee's shirt, who talks about how great tonight's action was so far. And introduces Ken Shamrock. He comes out and says how great it is to be NWA the NWA champion, and he thanks those who support him, and those who don't like it can kiss his ass. Just a good way to make friends and influence people there, Ken.
Yeah, like I said, he couldn't really ever do an interview, could he?
No. Well, so after that, James Mitchell comes out, the Reverend James Mitchell, and tells Ken Shamrock that he's on a mission from God. Not his God, though. His God. And he was this was a formation of the new church, who would be a fairly prominent heel fraction in early TNA. Raven came into it at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. CM Punk, yeah, so he did. Fuck. And he says he challenges Shamrock to take on one of his disciples next week. And at this point, Don West is shouting, "Oh, it has to be Malice! It has to be Malice!" And Slash comes out in the ring, and Shamrock challenges him to come down and out and take the title off him. And while he's doing this, Malice appears from behind Shamrock and chokeslams him, then chokes him out. And Ricky Steamboat can't get him off, and it takes about 12 guys to get Malice off Shamrock. Did Malice ever do anything before this? I don't recognise the guy at all.
He didn't last very long after. I think he died maybe about a year or so after this.
Did he? Wow.
He was the Wall in WCW.
I remember the Wall. I didn't know that was him.
Aye, that's him.
Yeah. There you go. He looked like him a Sid Vicious ripoff.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that takes us up to tonight's main event. To be honest, the only match worth watching in this entire show. It was the X Division Championship match, which was a double elimination, 4 corners match. So basically you had to be pinned twice to be eliminated from the match. Between AJ Styles, Psychosis, Loki, and Jerry Lynn. What was Loki called during his WWE run again?
Cabal,
that was it, aye.
And he said he used the name Total Non-Stop Action, didn't he?
No, he said he cut a promo like saying, "I'm all about the total non-stop action" or something.
Aye, let me get it on YouTube. Dirty Derek.
Cabal, please step forward. Alright, behind every great man is a great, great woman. The problem for them is, I got 2 of them. You're supposed to be chosen, huh? The pick of the litter. Except I'm gonna be the hottest trending topic running Twitter. Go get her, boy is sick. I'm gonna go far because what I do is leaving people standing in awe. Showtime, you're too kind. Riley, just whine. And Joe, horrible. Michael, you'll be a star in no time. But Husky's breaking molds and breaking all labels. But what he breaks best are called buffet tables. Jay-Z's got nothing to worry about. So go ahead, call me rookie. Find out what I'm packing, because I'm the only reason for some total non-stop action. Well, after by the way, that was stupid. And number 2, he may be packing.
You could tell how raging Michael Cole is after he says total non-stop action.
But there you are. JC says Joe will be a big star.
Yeah. Joe, yeah. Or Curtis Axel. Do you know, that was when Caval and Daniel Bryan were in NXT. It was just a total rib on the fans, but I teamed them with The Miz, then Michelle McCool and Layla.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just, we brought these guys in just to piss you off, basically. Look what we're doing with them. We're going to take a shite all over them. And then Daniel Bryan would go on to do the unthinkable and the unimaginable and actually get himself over. How dare he?
With his beard.
With his beard.
Yeah. So did Caval or Loki, did he ever come back to TNA or?
Yeah, he came back as Shen-Chi.
Yeah.
Came back under another name.
Well, he was in the TNA as Senshi for a while as well. He used to swap between that and Loki the first time he was in TNA. I think
he came back in 2006.
Yeah.
For 2 years, and then he came back 2011 for 1 match.
I think Senshi was like his heel name, basically.
I think he's brilliant.
So I used to really like the guy. And he was criminally underutilised in WWE. But they were never interested in doing anything with him. It's just a case of...
But his reputation was a bit of an arsehole though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but well, I suppose he wasn't really... He never really played the game in the WWE.
You know how he quit Japan? Well, not quit, but he left Japan, he basically just pissed them off by wrestling an entire match in a suit inspired by Agent 47
Yeah,
Hitman games.
Mhm.
Like after that, they just took him off the roster. It's like that.
That'd be a quite cool thing to do. Wrestling a match in a suit.
Oh, just look at the picture. What? It's from the new Japan pay-per-view.
Yeah. I'd actually quite like that if a guy had a gimmick of that, wrestling in a suit. An assassin gimmick. Sounds very...
Well,
double-
RT, the right to censor wrestled in suits.
Oh, I suppose he did, aye. And I hated him. Just for a... as a mark back then. I hated the right to censor. The Good Father and fucking Mr. Venus. Mr. Buchanan.
Oh yeah,
Stevie Richards.
Stevie Richards.
With his white socks and his black trousers and shoes. Fuck off.
The smoke alarm theme.
Yeah, do you know what I used to hate as well? There used to be a glitch in, I think it was SmackDown Just Bring It, where The Rock would come out and, like, if you had like a scratch in your disc or the game would glitch, it would start to play that, then the right to censor theme would just come on during The Rock's entrance. And it happened to my game, and so every time I played as The Rock or played against The Rock, that would happen, so it just totally fucking ruined The Rock. It's like, oh fuck.
That's probably why I left to go to Hollywood. He was like, oh, they put me in the video game with the RTC theme, I'm off.
Probably. That can be the theme of the week next week.
Oh, that's a great idea.
3 minutes of that.
Nobody's listening now, then they definitely won't be listening after that.
No.
We can say anything we want.
Anyway, do you think Jim Johnson's got credit for making that music?
That's a guy that should be put in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just for Stone Cold's theme alone. Anyway, the X Division match. So what did we think of this match?
It was actually pretty good.
It was. I don't think it was the greatest match ever, as Don West kept referring it to, but it was pretty good.
Just about just his pants.
No, I thought that.
Oh my god! Only $9.95. Oh my god!
Mhm.
We already. Well, what use does it have to say it's only $9.95 when you already bought the fucking thing?
Yeah. I suppose he's promoting it for the next week and the week after as well. I think it was a case of look what you can get for just $10.
Yeah.
One match out of 7 that's good.
The thing I didn't like, maybe I'm jumping ahead, but I didn't see the use of having 3 separate referees there.
No, that was really weird. They kept changing between falls.
And the thing is, it kind of ruins the ending. I will let you get to that. So,
What, when Steamboat comes in?
yeah, in the beginning they say, well, Steamboat's there to referee the title decision.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's Jerry Lynn against AJ Styles.
Mhm.
And AJ's up. AJ's been pinned once, and Lynn hasn't been pinned at all.
Yeah.
And Scott Armstrong is refereeing the match. So, why wouldn't Jerry Lynn just pin AJ and win the title? That kind of defeats
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Steamboat. So now he's like, well, Steamboat's not in the ring, so he's not winning the title
so the
just
match
yet.
is
So
over.
it's going to be. Yeah, so it's kind of ruined it for me. I think logically, which I like to do.
This was the first time we got to see the Styles Clash on TV anyway. Michelle McCool would take this. Another mention for her.
Yeah. What did she call it?
I can't remember the fucking, I don't know, the Fanny Washer or something.
Fanny Masher.
I always find,
Mrs. Undertaker Tombstone.
yeah, I always find that dead weird. See when you're like watching American programs and they say like Fanny for their arse. It's like, no, it's no.
I've got a pal whose cousin's first name is Fanny,
I mean,
and
that's
the
just
last name's Pang.
his last name's what?
Indonesian.
Fanny Pang.
Pang. Yeah. It's a wee peanut.
Oh. I'm going to call somebody tomorrow a Fanny Pang.
This is Indonesian, and that's a common name, so
Yeah.
like Fanny and Miwa.
Is Fanny a common name in Indonesia?
Well, it used to be very common in England, or Britain, didn't it?
Fanny
Same
Carrot
like
and such.
Cock and Dick. It's common Dutch names. I mean, nobody in my local pub knew what cock meant in Dutch until I told him, and
Aye,
I just
but used
didn't come
Dutch,
back after a while.
used Dutch are filthy bastards though.
Yeah, I can't disagree, yeah.
So AJ Styles would win this after 26 minutes and become the first NWA-TNA X Division champion.
Pretty good start to the X Division, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, the only thing that I took as a negative from that, looking at all the way back in this, TNA should have really about AJ Styles as like their John Cena. I just feel they missed a chance to make a real star, their own star.
Yeah. He sort of, well, I was going to say he didn't do himself too many favours, and I didn't mean he doesn't seem to have been a bad guy or anything behind the scenes, but he just sort of never seemed to have got, they tried to push him as Ric Flair's protege as well, and people just didn't buy him. He's just not that good. He's good in the ring, but there's maybe just something lacking about him.
Well, the thing that holds him back is the fact he can't talk. And he's just
Well, he can talk, but it's his accent. He's not a deaf mute.
He's just got like a total like redneck southern accent.
Yeah, it's just lack of promo ability, yeah. Steve Austin's got a southern accent.
Yeah, well, Steve Austin's got charisma. That's
Wow.
AJ Styles doesn't. In the wrestling sense, anyway. I mean, AJ Styles might be the most charming guy in the world outside a wrestling ring, but yeah, it's a shame. But still, I still think TNA should have built in this guy a lot more than they did.
Well.
Yeah, well. So that's the end of that. Let's do our own little summary and what we give this out of 10. Let's start with Dutch.
I'll give it a 5.5 just for the main event.
Yeah. Do you want it?
Yeah. 5. I mean, the main event probably would have got a 7 or 8, but the rest of the show was just a bit rubbish. So 5. Yeah.
I'm going to give this 2 marks. I'll give it. If this, without the main event, I'd have gave this a 2 or even a 1 out of 10. And that's with considering that people had to pay for this event as well. And with the main event, I think it pushed up to about a 5. I think Gav would have gave this a 9 out of 10.
9.5 at least.
Yeah.
As he wrote
He's wearing double socks, so
Yes. I know.
finding out Kinbo.
Kimber was here and Gav wasn't.
But hardly contributed.
Yeah, but you've been here. And
You're being here.
what would you give this show out of 10, Kimbo?
Didn't watch it, so wouldn't really be fair.
Never stops Gav.
Okay, 3.5.
3.5, right? That's fair. And
I think his feet are a wee bit cold.
yeah, Dave's feet might be cold.
Yeah.
It's so weird watching, like having you on Skype and listening to you talk, because it's like your wee man's your pick, so it's like him talking, even though it's your voice. It's like because your wee man's your display pick, and like when you talk.
All 4 of them.
Aye, but I'm looking at some wanking denim.
in a denim shirt. Yeah.
I need
Holding
to.
a glass of beer that you probably didn't even finish at all.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I had
But
3
you
of
give me
them.
lemonade.
Oh, fuck off. Do you know, Although what I did have that night was some strawberry beer, which was fucking awesome.
You get that in Tesco's.
Yeah. It's quite good. I mean, Becky had it, but I took like a wee drink of it, and it was nice. Like, it was actual, it was beer, it wasn't cider. I was like, oh, that's unusual, but cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I gave my rate for TNA. Yeah, so that'll end this for next week. Join us in another wee minute, and we'll end this and tell you what we're going to watch next week. And we've not got Gav to slag, so yeah. More of that as well. Right, back in a sec.
It's okay now, or
Nope, worse. Right.
now?
Yep. Oh. Stop! I want to finish. Right. So next week we're going.
Finish.
Next week we're going to do our first WCW show. We're going to be looking at the Great American Bash 1999, which has the main event of Kevin Nash against the Macho Man Randy Savage for the WCW title. That sounds fucking riveting, to say the least. It's also got Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, exactly, the man that shall not be named, DDP, Hubert Canyon, Bam Bam Bigelow, Rick Steiner, Sting, Flair, Ernest Miller, for those who liked a little bit of Funkers in a Row. That was him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Buff Bagwell against my favourite ever WCW wrestler, Disco Inferno. Mikey Whipwreck of ECW fame.
Really?
And yeah, against Van Hammer, whoever the fuck that is. Spoiler alert, Van Hammer wins. Yeah, so that looks fucking atrocious, so we'll tackle that next week. Then the week after, we're going to have a special show where we doing an as live review of that week's Monday Night Raw. So yeah, a 3 hour plus edition of the Random Wrestling Report that week, which should be fun. Anyone got anything else to add before I do the usual shout outs and mentions? Usual shout outs to Becky for doing the voiceovers, Callan for doing the music. Catch him at Callan Alive on Twitter and on iTunes at Still Alive. Buy his stuff, he's really good. Thanks to Gav's mate for doing the YouTube image. Thanks to Dutch for uploading onto YouTube. Thanks for Kinbo for coming on for his first show. And to Johnny and Dutch for being here as always. Thanks for Gav for not showing up.
You wee prick.
Thanks for Dave for just being there.
Legend.
1312. And thanks to everyone for downloading and watching on YouTube. Please remember to share it so we can get as many views as possible. Let's get this thing going, get the ball rolling. Follow us on Twitter at DavidRWR. So that's my Twitter. Follow us at RWR_podcast. Follow me at DavidRWR. Anyone else want to give out their Twitter this week? Nope. Awesome.
Yeah, at Bushwhacker Luke. Don't follow me, follow him.
Fuck, I forgot. Next week's competition. I forgot about that. Dutch, you want to explain that?
Well, because Gav's not here, so he can't tell us about his feelings about the 3 stages of hell match. I thought it would be a good idea to see if any of us can get a reaction from a wrestler.
Blog, tweet.
Blog, tweet, tout, app.
Yeah, so...
A Rangers tweet from Drew McIntyre doesn't count.
No, or...
Do you get points for who it is?
No, just anyone. Except Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan doesn't count.
Alex, he tweets everybody again, doesn't he?
Yep, so next week's challenge is to troll a wrestler, basically. I think that would just about do it. Johnny, have you got an Iron Sheik clip to play us out?
Was I meant to have one?
Just seeing if you did.
Hang on.
Right, okay.
Give me a minute. Here we go.
Right.
It's been on Botchamania anyway, but I'll play it anyway because it is pretty good. And I made it myself because I'm awesome.
Yeah. Right, so with that getting played, that'll be all from us. See you next week. Enjoy the Sheik.
Fuck you, piece of shit. Fuck! You no good motherfucker, piece of shit.
Oh dear.
Oh, that was shite.